1 on 3, 1 on 3, 1, 2, 3.
Shut up, man. You already know.
All right, man. Have some fun.
Jets on 3, 1, 2, 3.
It's game day in Houston. Welcome to Pregame Central, presented by Uber Eats. I'm Eric Allen and Eric Coleman inside the BetMGM studio. There is rookie quarterback Zach Wilson in Texas, back in the saddle for the New York Jets. He will make his 7th start of the season today. C.J. Mosley entering the building as well. As we see, it is Pregame Central, presented by Uber Eats. Eric Allen, Eric Coleman inside the studio as always. We will be joined momentarily by Anthony Becht. How was your Thanksgiving, E?
It was a great one. I had a low-key, just with the family, first Thanksgiving in our new house, so I was pretty pumped up about that. How about yourself?
We had Thanksgiving in our temporary home. It was kind of tight, but it was good. Jets fans got to be awfully excited about what they're seeing there today. The Jets have played a lot of signal callers this season. In fact, 3rd quarterback to make a start in as many weeks. You're talking about Joe Flacco last week. Of course, prior to Flacco, it was Mike White. Let's bring in Anthony Becht. Anthony, what do you expect from Zach Wilson today making his 7th start?
Yeah, it's good to have him back, number one. You know, you want to get this young quarterback as many reps as possible. The only way you succeed in the NFL is by experience and playing in the game. So that's going to be key. Another thing is, what has Zach seen and learned since his time off that he says, you know what, I can do this, I can be as successful, and I can tweak my game a little bit to really heighten and get his game going a little faster, starting faster, understanding the progressions, checking down's okay, you know, when to live and die on a play down the field when it's a big one. That's called by the OC LaFleur. So these are different things that hopefully he's been able to kind of gather these last couple weeks and really learn. And I think coming back on the field now, he's got some weapons in front of him to utilize that he can bounce back. And I think, you know, when you look at this offense, they've been really good passing the football. Hopefully he can continue that streak.
All right, Houston today, we have a problem. We're having some technical difficulties, but bear with us. You're watching Zach Wilson getting warmed up there at the stadium right now. We are less than 2 hours from kickoff. E, are the Texans a soft landing spot for the Jets? Defensively, they turn teams over, but they don't have great numbers. This is a unit that doesn't have a ton of big-name elite players.
Yeah, I mean, this Texans defense is tops in the league in interceptions, you know, one of the top teams. But when you look at the other stats, as you mentioned, they're not very sound. You know, one of the worst teams, they're bottom of the league in rush defense. So this is going to be some big opportunities for Ty Johnson, Tevin Coleman to run that football, to establish the run game, make things easier for Zach Wilson as he comes back for his first time in a few weeks. So I think it is a great spot for the Jets.
Anthony, what's been different about the Jets' offense the past 4 weeks?
Well, you know, I think, number one, you've had a few quarterbacks that have played a little bit of experience. I know White hadn't had much experience, but I think it's been a little bit more as far as how and understanding when to get the ball out of your hands. The running backs have been a very important key to the success of the running game, the passing game, and dumping those balls off. It hasn't been like 2 or 3 yard gain. They've been some really good chain moving gains, 7 to 10 yard catches for the backs. And then obviously accuracy and understanding where to go. You know, your 1 to 2 is your option. If you don't have that time, and look, in the NFL, you don't have a lot of time to pass. You have to be smart and understand, okay, what's the worst case scenario and what do I do with the ball to get it out of my hands or move with my feet to make things happen? The one thing that Zach will bring to the table today is he's got a little movement. You're going to see a little bit of different things out of the pocket. It's not going to be the same offense necessarily as the other 2 quarterbacks have run. I think it only enhances it with his ability to move and make it easier for him to make some plays with his arm and legs. And, of course, you want to protect and keep him safe. I expect some really quick, short passes. Find a way to get this young man in rhythm. That's the number one thing. He's seen all this success. You don't want to have him out there and force him to make big plays down the field. Let him get in a flow. Let him feel good. Once you do that and he's comfortable, it shouldn't take him long to get saddled up. So look for that early in this football game, trying to get him acclimated quickly and get some early success with some short throws.
Ty Johnson is showing off the pipes today. He's got the flight school tank top on in Houston. Hey, fans, it's time to make your voice heard. Elijah Moore is red hot for the green and white. Here it is, today's poll. You're all in or not today. Elijah Moore will record a receiving touchdown in a 4th consecutive game. Yes or no, vote now. We will have those results later in the show. Eric, what do you think about what Anthony just touched upon as far as Wilson going through those reads quickly, getting rid of the ball, maybe some short throws to get him, in a comfort zone?
Well, I mean, Anthony's 100% right. I think that it's going to be great to see Zach out there running the offense after a few weeks of watching some veteran quarterbacks have success running this offense, getting the ball out of his hands quick, making the proper reads, taking what the defense gives him, and then eventually taking some shots down the field. I think that Zach is a very athletic quarterback. I think that he's coming back to the game at the right time. This was a great opportunity while hurt to be able to sit back, watch the offense be run by a veteran quarterback or a couple of veteran quarterbacks, and I think that he'll be a better player for it.
You are watching Pregame Central presented by Uber Eats. Eric Allen alongside Eric Coleman inside the BetMGM studio. We're joined as always by Anthony Becht. Anthony, what do you think about the development we've seen from Elijah Moore the past few weeks? Nobody in the NFL has been hotter than the rookie from Mississippi. And one of the things I'm really looking forward to is, can he connect with Zach Wilson? Because we saw Moore get going with all these other quarterbacks. Now I think the next step for these rookies is to establish some chemistry together.
I think you answered the question right there. We've seen it with multiple other quarterbacks with no problem. So that means obviously the scheme to get him the football obviously is going to be something that he's going to be able to do fairly quickly. And again, that's part of that early game opportunities to get those balls and targets to Elijah Moore. I've always said, let's keep upping the targets for Elijah Moore every week from 6 to 7 to 8 to 9 to 10 a game, because he's a guy that can make plays on short catches and also long. I think the one thing that really stands out to me about Elijah Moore's development and success here the last 4 or 5 games is his maturity, number one, and his ability to go out there and understand what he's doing. Sometimes these rookie players come in and they're not quite sure of the playbook. They're not quite sure where to be. They don't understand defenses. The game's moving fast, and you have a receiver that's just running around with all this talent that's not quite dialed in to what the scheme and what they're asking him to do. He's a guy that's taken it upon himself to understand those things. He's shown the qualities to go out there and make plays, and he's not scared to do it. And the frequency is only going to continue to go up. So I think when you watch these two perform today, those two guys have to get on the same page early on. I think it's not going to be hard. I think it's something that Zach Wilson understands, that just like all the other quarterbacks we've talked to, who are the playmakers? Get them the football, and the play design of Mike LaFleur and what he brings to the table, understanding that this guy's a guy that has to touch the ball at least 10 times a game.
Uber Eats, the official on-demand food delivery partner of the NFL, is delivering game day deals all season. Order now with your Uber Eats. Let's go out to Houston right now and bring in Ethan Greenberg. Greens, we're really happy you got in that round of golf on Saturday like usual, so you're keeping up your tradition there on the road. But on a serious note, Michael Carter out of the lineup. Low-grade, high ankle sprain. What's going on with the Jets and a couple injuries at the playmaker position?
Well, you talked about Michael Carter going to injured reserve. Well, the Jets have strength in numbers at the running back position, so we expect Ty Johnson and Tevin Coleman to carry the bulk of that load. Remember, Austin Walter was called up yesterday, one of 4 elevations for the Jets, so I expect him to be in the starting lineup. And earlier today, there was an early workout here in Houston. While Michael Pirine was in that workout, that leads me to believe that he will be among the inactives. Again, we'll find out the full list in a little bit. And then at wide receiver, it's never good news when you get the Saturday injury report, because typically Friday's the last day. Well, Corey Davis has had a whirlwind of a week. He was limited, or he did not practice, then he was limited. It seemed like all systems were go for him to play in this game. Then last night, or late yesterday afternoon, probably somewhere between holes 7 and 8. We got an email with an updated injury report saying that Corey Davis was now listed as doubtful. So it is unlikely that Zach Wilson, who is in the lineup, will have one of his favorite targets in Corey Davis.
Hey, Greens, I'm watching Quinnen Williams on the screen right now. Between 7 and 8, I was watching Alabama and Auburn go toe-to-toe. So good stuff keeping us updated there. Let's go back to the other side of the ball. You talked about the running back position. We'll have to see if Walter is indeed part of the lineup today. You would figure he is. But we know Zach Wilson obviously made the first 6 starts of the season for the Green and White, and he's coming back after missing 4 games. But what's the landscape with the rest of the quarterback room? Because a lot of activity with the quarterbacks this week dealing with a couple things.
Right. Well, let's start in the beginning of the week when Mike White and Joe Flacco were both put on the reserve COVID-19 list. And that means Josh Johnson, who was elevated yesterday, will be a part of the game day actives here for the Jets. I have not seen Joe Flacco. And remember, throughout the week, Robert Saleh was talking about how Joe Flacco still had a lot of hurdles to clear just to be a part of this game today. And so I have not seen him. Whether that means he's here, I do not know the answer to that. But all indications are that Josh Johnson will back up Zach Wilson, much like Johnson backed up Mike White and Joe Flacco. Now, Johnson maxed out at his practice squad elevations up for game day at 2. But when you place players on the reserve COVID-19 list, you do get an exemption. So Josh Johnson is a part of that exemption. He will be active today, I would assume, and back up Zach Wilson in a couple hours here.
All right, good stuff, buddy. We'll check in with you in a little bit. The main topics there, of course, Michael Carter, the running back, he'll be out probably around 2 to 4 weeks with that high ankle sprain. And then Corey Davis downgraded on Saturday, unfortunately, for the Green and White. So maybe no Davis today in the lineup. Come out to MetLife Stadium on Sunday, December 5th at 1 p.m. to see the New York Jets host the Philadelphia Eagles, presented by SAP. Don't miss the excitement of game day. Lock in your seats at NewYorkJets.com/tickets. Once again, that's NewYorkJets.com/tickets. Sunday, December 5th, 1 p.m., Jets, Philadelphia Eagles. Let's get rolling with our matchups to watch, and we'll start with Anthony Becht. Anthony, we were just talking about the running backs. I think you might go there right now.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, when I look at the running backs for the Jets and what they'd be able to do, I really see that Ty Johnson and Tevin Coleman can have success in this football game. You know, you look at the Texans and the matchup they're going to have to go against is Zach Cunningham. This kid's an elite linebacker, in my opinion. It's actually an indictment of Lovie Smith, their defensive coordinator, who actually hasn't used him as much as the past. He's been one of the premier tacklers in the NFL the last 2 seasons, 160-plus tackles last year, and he's coming off his best game of the season last week versus Titans with 11 tackles. So Ty Johnson gets a unique opportunity. Again, when a guy like Michael Carter stepped up and played as well as he has, he's been getting the majority of the reps. Tevin Coleman coming in. Well, you know, here we go. Ty, here's your chance again. And we've seen him take advantage of those moments when he gets the opportunity. So as he'll be in there along with Tevin Coleman, expect these guys to, you know, make the most of it. And I think they can have a lot of success.
Astute analysis always from AB. Tevin Coleman averaging 3.9 yards per carry. As we watch Ty Johnson, he has touchdowns in 3 of his past 6 games, and he averages 10 yards after the catch. The thing about Cunningham, he led the National Football League with 164 tackles this season. In the change of schemes there with the Texans, he is playing 65% of the snaps, which is a career low. So we will definitely have our eyes on AB's matchup today. Eric Coleman, the Texans have a #1 receiver, and the Jets have a second-year cornerback who's really coming into his own right now.
Right, and my matchup is Bryce Hall against Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks, you know, the veteran, is the top receiver for this Texans offense. He has 59 receptions on the year. He's an excellent route runner, has excellent top-end speed, and it's going to be a great challenge for Bryce Hall this week. You know, Bryce Hall has been doing a great job of being consistent all year, getting hands on receivers, disrupting passes. Just been had a great season so far. But But Brandin Cooks is an excellent pass rusher, route runner, and Tyrod Taylor being healthy, you know that he's going to be his number one target. So that's my matchup.
I love it. I think Brandin Cooks, as we watch Bryce Hall get warmed up right now, stretch it out there in Houston. Cooks has had an underrated career, hasn't he? Yeah. 542 career receptions, 42 touchdowns.
Yeah, he's had a great career. Spent some time in New England. Just been consistent wherever he is. Like I said, great route runner, and that, I can't emphasize that enough. Quarterbacks can trust him. He's going to be open whenever they need him.
Bryce Hall, second year out of Virginia, leads the Jets with 8 PDs. What's been his key to success? Because you're seeing teams stay away from Bryce Hall right now. Yes, he leads the team with 8 PDs, but sometimes he doesn't get a lot of action over there because I think it's a sign of respect.
Yeah, it's lonely over there when you're doing a great job in coverage. But Bryce, he's a long corner. He's big, and he does a great job of getting his hands on receivers and disrupting routes early in the route, so it throws off the receiver's timing. A lot of times quarterbacks have already gone to their other phases in their progression. So Bryce does an excellent job. When the ball's in the air, he's not afraid to go attack it, and he's not one of those guys that's just sitting back not getting beat deep, because he doesn't get beat deep, but he's also aggressive on the short and intermediate routes, which I love to see. He's very confident, very good player, and I love to see what he's doing this year.
Yeah, I really like your matchup to watch right there. I'm going to go with the man of the hour, and that, of course, is Zach Wilson going against Desmond King. I picked King here because he had 2 interceptions last week. The Texans had 5 takeaways total in their upset win at Tennessee, an improbable victory. Desmond King is a guy who really his ideal position is probably nickel. He's been asked to play outside. Zach Wilson, of course, back in the lineup, making his 7th start for the Jets, chomping at the bit, unleashing the long ball right there. For the Jets to be successful any week in the National Football League, you got to protect the football. I think they match up very well with this Texans team, and the only way they get in trouble today is if they turn the ball over. Do we have the graphic? Do we have the photos of the defensive coordinators? Nice. This is our final matchup to watch. The Battle of the Beards. Anthony, what do you think? Lovie Smith, longtime NFL coach, or Jeff Ulbrich, first-year Jets defensive coordinator? Which beard do you like better? Which is most impressive?
You know what, man? Jeff's got his kind of cleaned up and looking tight. Lovie looks like he's just going with volume and thickness, and of course the white really pierces out. If it was me, and I'm a guy, that looks matter sometimes, right? Look good, play good. I would say Ulbricht's looking pretty good. I would give him the vouch right now for the best beard.
Hey, fellas, can we get that graphic back up? Because Eric Coleman's got to really analyze this. We want to see the photos of Lovie Smith and Jeff Ulbrich. Here we go again. E, what do you think? I'll tell you what, both of them would be great Santa Clauses.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Lovie is definitely the Papa Smurf Santa Claus.
Oh, Papa Smurf. Yes, I see that now.
Growing it out. Trying to look older than what he is. But, I'm jealous of them both because I can't grow a beard, and I think that they both look sharp. Ulbrich, I agree with Anthony. I like it cleaned up and tight like yours. So I'm riding with Ulbrich on this one.
I'll tell you what. Good stuff for both of those guys. We will be watching Lovie Smith and Jeff Ulbrich lead the respective defenses this afternoon in Houston. Coming up after Pregame Central, Jets Game Day airs at 11:30 on CBS 2 here in New York. We'll also be back here for Jets Overtime, presented by Nissan after the game, and SNY will have you covered with its pregame and postgame shows. Speaking of Jets Game Day, let's now hear from head coach Robert Saleh. How much did your childhood in Dearborn, Michigan shape who you are today?
A lot. In Dearborn football, for one reason or another, it just took on as it is the sport in that city. And my family, starting with my dad, there was a Saleh on the football team at Fortson High School from my dad in the 60s all the way till me in the late 90s. So it was a long run of having at least one Saleh on the team. So, it's the culture, my mom and dad, obviously just two very strong parents, and, just having such tremendous amount of support from families really shaped me.
You are watching Pregame Central, presented by Uber Eats. Eric Allen and Eric Coleman inside the studio. We just heard from head coach Robert Saleh. What do you think about Saleh's background, the family pedigree, the generations of Salehs in Dearborn, Michigan, playing football?
Oh, I love it. I love it. You know, when you grow up and there's tradition, you know, football just does so much for you. You know, as a person, teaches you different values, and him growing up in that is great. You know, I spent some time in Michigan playing for the Lions. It's a tough town. You know what I mean? You have to have something about you to be successful, to get out of that town. So, you know, much respect to the Saleh family, and he had some very big shoulder pads on. I will say that as well.
Yeah, how about Saleh? Do you know that he played tight end, Anthony? I mean, yes, he had a long-time defensive assistant and defensive coordinator before he got, obviously, the head coaching job here with the Jets. But he started as a tight end.
I did. You know, I remember when he first got here, we were able to speak, and he told me that, and I kind of was, I want to say, a little shocked. You know, he's not the biggest guy, but I also know that, you know, it wasn't big-time football he was playing. But I want to see some tape. I want to know what he did. Was he a blocker, a pass guy? You know, could he run routes? That'll be the next segment. We got to dig up some old film of him. I'm going to put you on that.
AB, I will definitely do that. I will talk to Robert about that this week. But you really don't think he's the biggest guy? I mean, I know he's been running a lot, obviously, keeping that body fat down. A lot of people say he's under 10% body fat. But you don't think he's a big dude?
I mean, you know, I can only compare him to me. I mean, for someone that's 6 foot, you know, I'm pushing over my playing weight. So, you know, you eyeball a guy up. He does have good height. I could see. Got some length in his arm. He could be a guy that can work the seams a little bit, pluck the ball, a little bit more of a hybrid tight end. So, that, again, the film, the eye in the sky won't lie. So once we get that, I can start evaluating the process a little tighter.
Student analysis. Anthony, on a serious note, as we look at Zach Wilson, well, what do you think about Saleh so far and how he's handled the ups and the downs of a 2-8 team that has 7 games remaining, that they knew that there were going to be a lot of bumps on the road with this young roster?
Yeah, well, you know, I think we've seen those frustrations after the game, obviously disappointed. He desperately wants this team to play a football game with supreme focus, not hurt themselves. You know, come out and just say, okay, this is the best we have for this game, regardless of injuries or what it is. But let's go out there and execute. And he wants 11 guys to go out there and do it right. And, you know, as a head coach, everybody wants success. You know, fans want success. He knows that. Everybody wants it early. But at the end, when you're looking at the grand scheme of it, there's a process involved. And unfortunately, when you don't have all those pieces and you're young and it's a rotating lineup, especially on the defensive side, which he obviously puts his stake in as a head coach, being a former defensive coordinator, he wants that to look right. So, you know, the plan is in place. The players are there. When they're all out there, and, of course, all the additions that'll come with it, you know, he's going to feel a lot better about the product. But right now, yeah, he has to deal with it. And add on the media and the fans and everybody that's pushing those buttons. Look, when you take this job with New York, you got to understand it's not just, you know, getting a great paycheck and all those things and living in Florham Park, playing at one of the best stadiums in the NFL. It's also comes with a lot of other things, and he knows that. So it's important to him. I can see the frustration. He wants it, but he also has to understand, and I agree with him, the process will be there, and it'll take some time.
The future is so bright for Elijah Moore. He's got to wear shades.
Hey, you look good. You feel good. You play good. You know, I think Elijah's been doing amazing. I love the shades. I love how loose that they are before this game. You got to go out there and have fun at the end of the day. You got to enjoy your craft. You know, the record isn't what you want it to be, but when you go out there and it's time to compete, like they always say, you get paid to practice, you play for free. So I love seeing that out of the young receiver.
That dude's got some juice to his game. He's ready to go again. You're watching Pregame Central, presented by Uber Eats. Let's bring in the fellas and take a look at our all-in or not today leaderboard right now. It's going to pop up there. Here we go. Okay, I'm in sole possession of first place.
Ooh.
Your game off. Anthony, a couple games out. And then Ethan, not doing too bad after starting 0-7 again.
Yeah.
He's won 2 of the past 3. Nice little streak for you. I mean, 2-1 over the last 3. Very good, Ethan. Anthony.
Thank you.
we've been talking a lot about the running backs. We'll start with you. The Jets will have more than 120 yards rushing today against the Texans.
You know, the Texans have the third worst rushing defense in the NFL. They're giving up close to 133 yards a game. I think this Jet offense has to support their quarterback a little bit. I know we've seen a lot of the pass game be successful, but I think Ty Johnson and Tevin Coleman can help out this football team today. I'm going to say all in on this one. I think they're definitely going to get to that point. I think they can go over 120 yards rushing, and I think it's something that, the Jets have to do. I always say it, guys, 20 rushes, regardless of the number, is an important place to get, and they got to get there today.
He does. AB's looking at those attempts today. Can the Jets get north of 25 attempts? Because if they do, they will likely be the victor. How about Quincy Williams, fellas? 15 tackles against the Dolphins last week. We talked about Zach Cunningham before, so we will move to E right now. Quincy Williams, the young Jets linebacker, will have more tackles than Cunningham today.
I'm all in on this. Quincy Williams, when you see him out there on the field, he's in every frame at the end of the play. He gets to that ball. He has a nose for it, and he just is super aggressive. Now, I'm not taking away from Cunningham. He's a ball hawk himself, but I can't help but think if you're the Jets and you're the offensive line, you have to know where Cunningham is. You're going to have a hat for him. He can't be in on every tackle, but on the other side, I love what Quincy does, so I'm all in.
Dude is 5'11", 225 pounds, and he's a violent hitter. The Jets like his length, and he told Ethan last week, Greens, that his superpower is going sideline to sideline. Let's move to the other side of the ball and talk about the man who has the spotlight on him today and for the final 7 games. Rookie quarterback Zach Wilson, Ethan, will throw for 225 yards or more.
Before I answer, I just want to say if I look distracted, I am in the line of fire right now. Receivers are catching balls right on the sideline. So I'm not trying to be viral right now. I'm just trying to look out for my well-being. But in terms of all in or not today, I'm going to go all in on this one. We've seen the way that this Jets offense has performed as I take a look. All right, I'm good. Without Zach Wilson hasn't shown or hasn't played in this offense that's been top in the NFL since week 8 in terms of yards per game. And so I think Zach Wilson has a favorable matchup. You guys have detailed it throughout the show against this Texans defense. And I know there's no Corey Davis, no Michael Carter, but hopefully Zach Wilson took a step back, right? Maybe he'll play some more boring football, as Robert Saleh said. And I think that we're going to go all in on that number, EA.
Well, let me go to the other side of the ball. Tyrod Taylor is a very good veteran in the National Football League. Doesn't turn it over a lot, even though he had 3 turnovers a couple weeks ago against the Miami Dolphins. He can do damage on the ground as well. We saw that in Tennessee last week. Tyrod Taylor will account for 2 touchdowns or more. I'm actually going all in here because Taylor can do damage on the ground as well. I think the Jets are going to secure their 3rd victory of the season, but I do think that he will account for at least 2 touchdowns today. Ethan, we're going to get back to you here in a second. But, hey, Jets fans, to learn how to make some epic game day eats with Mekhi Becton, go to madeforjetswatching.com and download the recipe cards for amazing dishes like Pepsi Bacon Cheeseburger Sliders. Pepsi, it's the official soft drink of the New York Jets. There are those sliders right now, E. I want to look at that recipe card. Whoa, 4 cups of Pepsi, a little vanilla extract.
Cinnamon powder, okay.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, I like to try those out.
8 slices of cheddar cheese slice, 9 buns, a little mayo. Okay.
Oh man, I'm getting hungry.
Hey, take a look at that one. We started the show by asking the fans for their input. Red hot receiver Elijah Moore this season. 3 receiving touchdowns in the past 3 games. We wanted your vote. Elijah Moore will record a receiving touchdown in a 4th consecutive game. The fans have spoken. Nearly 88% say yes. Moore gets in the end zone again today against the Houston Texans. Green and white, and Houston about to kick off in about 90 minutes. We will get the inactives here in about 30 seconds or so. Final thoughts from you, E.
I think this is a great opportunity for the Jets to bounce back against the Texans team who is struggling offensively. Tyrod Taylor, he has returned, but he hasn't reached his form yet. The Jets, if they can jump on this Texans team early, run the football early, get some big plays, let that defense rest and get after it, put their hair back, and get after the quarterback, I think this is going to be a great day for the Jets.
Ethan, let's rock and roll with those inactives.
All right, you got it. Here's the list. Running back, LaMichael Pirine. Offensive lineman, Isaiah Williams. Wide receiver, Corey Davis. Defensive lineman, Tim Ward. Defensive lineman, Jonathan Marshall. Safety, Jared Wilson. And cornerback, Rashad Wild Goose EA. Those are the inactives, so Corey Davis officially a no-go here in Houston.
Thanks, Screens. So Corey Davis a no-go, and the Jets will have the backfield by committee with no Michael Carter today. But the main storyline here is Zach Wilson, the number 2 overall selection in April's draft, is set to play for the first time in more than a month. He will make his 7th start of the season. We will have you covered post-game. Eric Coleman and myself will be inside the studio. For those watching locally, head over to CBS 2 in New York. You can watch Jets Game Day right now. Remember, Jets overtime after the game. The gang will all be here. Look for the Jets to get that win, number 3 today.